All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cryptic Commander on YouTube. Today, we have with us my homie, my G, my man all the way from Mexico, the Sliver Hive, Emmanuel Torres. How you doing, man?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me again, Matt. Um, I don't know. I'm glad to be on another episode of the amazing Cryptic Commander podcast.
Well, it's awesome to have you here again. Definitely one
Thanks.
of the crowd favorites for sure. All right. So today we're talking about something a little bit scary. It is not just because it's zombies, Emmanuel. It's because well, a lot of people are scared of what this is going to do, right? Uh, so without further ado, let's get into the meat of this. The first thing we're going to go over, and Emmanuel will help me with this, is going over each card, right? We're going to talk about, some of the market experts are comparing these Secret Lair cards to the reserve list. And we're going to talk a little bit about, how those compare, because, many people aren't going to understand that. And so number 3 is, what does this do for collectors, Emmanuel? Like, what is the Secret Lair going to do now and in the future? How's it going to affect, the collector's pocket? And then another thing is, how does this affect LGSs, local game stores, right? Can go a little bit in depth of what LGSs are going to have to do to kind of compensate for people buying from WATC.
Right.
And then the future effect, just in general, of, the entire meta of Magic, if more unique cards are printed like these. Say, for example, if they print like Harry Potter or more My Little Pony crap. And then we're going to go a little bit over the pros and cons of you, the person watching this, if you're wanting to buy the Walking Dead Secret Lair. And so first we got Rick, Steadfast Leader, which, in my opinion, this is my favorite card out of the Secret Lair, just because of its abilities, and I really like White Weenie. White Weenie is one of my favorite things to play. Now, what do you think, Emmanuel?
Well, first of all, I gotta be honest. I never really watched the Walking Dead.
Well, me neither. I never watched it either. I just like the card.
Yeah, but just in case that I made some mistake or I don't understand what's going on and I look like a total boomer or something, I never really watched the show, but I have played plenty of Magic the Gathering, so I think I should be okay watching these cards. And I agree with you, Rick. In my opinion, it's the strongest card of there are 5, right? So yeah, I mean, this guy, especially in a really humans focused deck, it's kind of powerful.
Exactly.
It's not broken. I mean, no. I don't think it's broken or it's the most powerful human card we've ever seen, but it's quite good.
Yeah, for me, it reminds me of Audric, where you get to choose those different abilities during combat, right? And Audric was never you could break Audric, but it was not an easy thing to do. Your opponents would have to let you, right?
Yeah.
And then we got Daryl Underwalkers. This is, I don't know. It's a card.
I recognize this guy. This is like the most popular character from the show, right? I think.
Yeah, and I think he's been in other shows too. I don't know. Just in general, I think this art is kind of, for all the cards, is overall kind of cheesy. And it doesn't really fit with Magic whatsoever. And I know it's supposed to be out from outside of Magic, but it's still Magic. Make it Magic.
I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, art inside of Magic the Gathering has been so diverse, especially in the last couple of years, or in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
The art has been so diverse and sometimes so divisive that I don't know, like, what's Magic the Gathering art anymore. I mean, I guess if we go to the classic art from the times of 7th edition, of Onslaught, Mirrodin, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, but there was crappy art back then. Although I agree that these cards look like, I don't know, they look plastic, maybe like fake, like the kind of custom cards that you see on Facebook groups. Obviously, the mechanics are better made. However, Daryl, I don't know. Gruel is one of my favorite color combinations, and this just seems like very underwhelming.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it doesn't really seem like much of a Gruul thing. It seems more something that needs to be
No,
black.
yeah. I mean, the last ability, whenever a zombie and an opponent control dice draw a card. How
Yeah,
is that Gruel? Like,
exactly. It
I don't
has
know.
nothing to do with Gruul.
Yeah, this one is weird,
Yeah,
and I don't think it's powerful or anything.
yeah, no, I completely agree. And then we have Glenn, the voice of Calm, which I've seen like so many memes made about this.
Yeah.
Not because it's a good card, because it's not, but just because there's like what he got killed by a bat, like the bat the kind that you swing, not the animal bat,
And
and
the
The
other
Walking
card,
Dead. Yeah,
yeah. All right.
yeah. So he got killed by a bat in The Walking Dead. So people, they're like Stoneforge Hammer or whatever it's called. It's like this. They were putting it with Glenn. But this is a very, once again, pretty underwhelming. Just seems more of a forced thing. Once again, there's not much to say about this one.
Well, supposedly, this was the card that was going to break Legacy, right? I mean, come on.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it. Like a lot of people on many Facebook groups were saying that, no, come on, man. Glenn looks like a potential Legacy staple or something. And I just don't see it. Like, how is this better than True Name Nemesis or Uro
Exactly.
or Teferi? I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. For the people watching this and who don't know, I'm a very competitive Legacy player. This is not Legacy worthy. Like, come on. No.
yeah, I mean, no, it's a 3-drop that does nothing. The turn it comes down,
Yeah.
and I don't think so.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Legacy,
I have.
you need something that turn. Legacy is about, right then and there.
I mean, I don't think this is good enough for Mother, to be honest. But
I don't think
I
it's
don't know.
good enough for EDH. So,
Let's go further. I don't think this is good enough for the current standard meta. I think. I mean, I would rather play Uro.
yeah, okay. I think people are tired of us trash talking this card. Yeah, let's go. All right, now we have, I'm probably going to say this wrong, and Emmanuel doesn't know either, so we're both going to be half-wits here. I'm going to say Michonne, Ruthless Survivor, I think. It sounds French, but when it enters, you create 2 walkers. When it's equipped, she has to block if able, and if her and at least 2 other zombies attack, she gains indestructible. Once again, it seems a very underwhelming thing for 5 mana.
Yeah, this is also not a great card. Like, no, I don't like it. And
Yeah.
I guess it's somewhat Golgari theme because of the zombie thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, but
It
it
looks
also has
weird.
like the white list, the equipped and indestructible part.
Yeah.
I think there's too much color bleed going on in these cards, just in general.
I think the girl is pretty. It reminds me of a girlfriend I had, but that's about it. I don't know.
Well,
Oh, Negan.
yeah, Negan. So there's been a lot of things. I'm not going to go too much into depth about what the public is saying about Negan, but I've heard about some of the things he's done in the show. I don't know if you've heard about this from people who watched the show. I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Isn't Tybalt like the character from Magic the Gathering, like a serial killer or something like that on the lore?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many serial killers in Magic the Gathering, and
Yeah,
I mean, this is to me, yeah, I think WotC is gonna be biting themselves in the butt for doing this character in the future, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with them creating this. Obviously the character, is a terrible human being in the show, but it's a character
show
nonetheless. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I can see why some people might not like this guy. Like I said, I haven't watched the show like ever, so I could see why some people would be upset if a character like this gets a card or something. But I also, I mean, it's a TV show. Come on, and
Yeah.
I mean, and the card is also crap. I think. Well, I don't like it. It's
Yeah,
very underwhelming as usual with Mardu. It's like Sultai is Wizard's prodigal son, and Mardu is that the child that got left behind or something. It's like,
that's a great way. That's a great way to explain it.
yeah, I mean, like, can you please give something,
Well, trust Manuel, he looks like
Mardu?
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
just on the power level of this card is really underwhelming. I mean, there's ways to abuse the sacrifice part and creating treasure tokens, I guess, but
yeah. There's
not
a way.
really much in red and black. It would have to be white and blue that really does that stuff. And if you're using this guy as your commander, then you're really only going to be bouncing stuff with white.
There's a way to abuse creating treasure tokens, and it's called Smothering Tithe.
Yeah, I mean, there's another tie too. Yeah, just that one card alone abuses it. You're absolutely right. I hate playing against that card. Who doesn't? But you love playing with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Exactly.
if you want to abuse treasure tokens, play Smothering Tithe. It's harder to remove. It costs one less mana. It's only white. I mean, this is a terrible Magic card, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the viewers understand what our opinion is of Secret Lair. Uh, and I just want to go really quick. The token art. I mean,
That's
I
funny.
like. I think the only good part about the set is the token art.
That's pretty awesome. This one,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
the second one looked cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, come on, what is it? What is
This
that?
one.
Come on now. Oh yeah, that one looks very cool. Josh
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
And then there's the top hat.
Pause. Oh Lord, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you a little story very quickly. Here in Mexico, and I think in other parts of Latin America, there's this TV show. Well, it's actually a soap opera called La Rosa de Guadalupe, which is like Guadalupe's Rose. I don't know if Guadalupe exists in other countries. I don't think so. It's a very at the end of each episode, like the characters always have like this epiphany where they turn their lives around, and it's always because supposedly this rose appears like next to them, like near to them, and they are always like that's it's like a meme here in Latin America. Everyone makes fun of that show because of that part of the show where
Yeah.
the characters find this rose and they're like, "Oh, what is this rose doing here?" And they receive like a divine light and they change their lives, because the episodes are usually about people that are into drugs or they're on a like members of a gang or it's a girl that it's hanging with the wrong people. It's always like that. It's a soap opera.
Yeah, I think
And
there's going to be a salty person.
this reminds me of that, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate it
there's
so
going to
much.
be a salty person who yells at you for saying that that's a rose. I guarantee it. They'll be like,
Well, I
"It's
don't
not Maddie,
know.
bro. It's not a rose."
I don't know, but it reminded me of that thing, and I don't like it. Like, how is this a treasure token?
Yeah, no.
Like,
To me, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess maybe the pocket watch, it sort of makes sense. Eh?
no, no. Please go back to the zombie art. That was cool.
Go back to the zombie art. Okay, no, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward.
All right, let's. Yeah. I'm getting heated here. So
Yeah, he did about Mexican soap operas. Okay.
yeah, I don't want them in my Magic the Gathering cards.
Okay, you got to start a change.org petition now. All right, so we're gonna get a lot of people came here for our economic knowledge on this stuff. I mean, we're just from the amount of time that I played Magic. We know a decent amount about this stuff, especially since I buy and sell cards. I'm planning on opening up my own LGS. This is stuff that I really like to pay attention to. And Emmanuel, he's an extremely intelligent human being most days. So
yeah, most days that's the key part of that sentence.
Most days. Okay. So you've heard about this and you've heard me talk about it too. I know you have. Is the reserve list comparison to the unique Secret Lair cards, right? So I'm going to start this off really quick. You can interject whenever you'd like. But for newer players who are watching this, or people who just don't understand what the reserve list is, or they're like, "What's RL?" The reserve list is a list of cards created by WotC saying that they will never reprint them again, right? And I mean, they broke that rule once in 2010, or like twice in 2010, but that's not the point. The point is that that's a list of cards that WotC isn't supposed to touch again, and basically it basically guarantees the value of that card to stay the same or rise, is what it's supposed to do. Because legally, if a card devalues too much based on a marketing action that WotC or Hasbro takes, then there can be legal liability with the value that somebody owns in quote unquote assets, which are your Magic cards. Sorry for those of you who didn't understand any of that lingo there. I tried to explain it in the most basic way possible. And so how I'm comparing this here is them creating a card that is going to be unique, just like the reserve list cards, and it's going to be guaranteed value and or rise, right? And the only reason, people are like, well, it's like Godzilla cards, isn't it? No. With the Godzilla cards, they printed it with 2 names for each because of copyright. So that if they wanted to reprint the Godzilla cards again, they wouldn't use the Godzilla names. And they also wouldn't have the issue with them being quote-unquote unique cards, and they wouldn't be any liability economically for them. And that's the difference with these Walking Dead cards here, is that they didn't create a second name so that they can reprint them and completely devalue the cards. Like if they created a different name with like the same ability, and it would just create a power break and blah blah blah. And I want to know what you think of this, Emmanuel.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen this issue a lot, like inside of the community. Like a lot of people hate the reserve list. A lot of collectors obviously have some interests in preserving the reserve list. I think that's pretty obvious. And I don't know, the comparison is, I mean, it's not completely wrong, but it's also not the same, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the same, but I think economically, I think it's going to end up being similar to how the reserve list works.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Like, this might be the part of this topic that I am less proficient at. Like, I'm not really a collector. That's not really why I play the game.
Yeah.
So, but I can see why some people might be upset that, oh, well, I own this horrible Negan card, and now they reprinted it in some Commander product, and now it's called, I don't know, Ginan or something. I don't know. And now my Negan card, which was $40, is going to cost $5 or something because the card is terrible. But I don't know, man. I mean, I think a recurring topic that we're going to see in this episode, it's like, it's, I don't know, man. People always want to blame like the reserved list. They want to blame Hasbro. They want to blame Wizards. They want to blame everyone and everything when they're not having fun or things aren't going their way. But I think we need to start like holding ourselves accountable and be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
This, I don't know why, but this reminds me of some attitudes that I've seen even in some of my friends. Like, they always want shiny stuff, that they want to own shiny collectible stuff. They love their Tarmogoyfs and they love their fetchlands and their duels and whatever. And they're always like, yeah, I want them, man. Like, why won't Wizards reprint this card or that card or whatever? The thing is that a lot of Magic the Gathering players, they want their reprints and their shiny stuff when they don't own those cards. But once they do, they don't want reprints. They don't want anyone else to have. So it's like, come on, man. I mean, you wanted the Tarmogoyf reprint or the Fetchland reprint or whatever, because the card was very expensive and you couldn't afford it. And now that you have it, you're getting angry that it's getting reprinted again, so other people can have. I mean, what
Yeah.
what's that? And that's not what's his fault. That's not Hasbro's fault. I mean, it's like you know very well like how this works. You know, like no one forced you to buy these cards. No one forced you to try to be a wannabe collector. So why are you getting mad at this right now? I personally don't understand.
Yeah, for you collectors out there, if you feel like there's a reprint going, about to, come out, if there's the signs, sell. That's what a collector does, right?
Exactly.
If you're a true collector and you collect upon value rather than, I mean, if you want to collect the cards, keep them, right? But if you're a buyer, seller, collector like me, then sell.
But that's
Yeah,
sorry, but that's the thing, right? You know how Magic the Gathering works. Like you know that at any point in time, maybe except for the reserved list, um, Wizards of the Coast might reprint some high-profile cards,
yeah,
and your investment might go down or whatever. But we all know this kind of thing, so that's on us, right? Like
yeah,
if I'm going to sit here and pretend that my scalding turns are always going to be $100, that's on me.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. I,
I
I
mean,
think
come on.
my piece of advice for the people who want to get into buying and selling is always remember how much money you've made versus how much money you had to use to buy the card. Okay,
Yeah,
so say if you buy a dual land for $400, you sell it for 500, you have $100. Now you have $100 extra, right?
yeah,
And so
exactly.
then you're gonna buy. It's gonna be you need to make it a cycle of buying and selling without spending more than you can, right? So now if you say you made that $500 and then you spend $100 buying some video games, and then you spend $400 again on a dual land to make another $500, then you're staying the same, right? You have to be willing to hold off with a lot of costs, and if you want to buy your own personal cards, build up your own economic wealth first from buying and selling. Make sure it's a good cycle first that you have. Make it a good habit. It's something I struggle with myself. Um, Make sure you have a good
Yeah,
habit first. Make sure you have the overhead cost you need first. And I know people don't want me to be their life coach, but just thought I should put that out there for people.
yeah. These are just suggestions. Like we're not claiming to be experts in economy or investments or
Yeah,
no, but I mean we're just giving our insight and we're calling it like it is. You know, like it's like I said. Sometimes it goes perfect. Like it has happened to me. I've
yeah,
had cards that I got for $1 or two or maybe $5 or whatever, and when I sold them, I made $20, $50, $100.
yeah,
Sometimes it goes amazing, and you make a profit or whatever, and sometimes you don't. Like, but that's just life. This doesn't apply just to Magic the Gathering, right? I think.
yeah, yeah. And the easiest cards to make profit off of are the ones that are the highest price. So a lot of times people are struggling, with having that starting capital to become a buyer seller, uh, which is the main issue. And I've struggled with that in the past too. It's start small, trade up. It's hard and it's grueling work, but it can be worth it in the end if you put in that effort. Uh,
Yep.
and I mean, we definitely delved into the number two. What does this do for collectors? We went pretty deep into that already. Is there anything else you want to add there? Because I think we covered what does this do for collectors
Well,
accidentally.
like I said, I'm not a collector myself, and I'm not an expert in this side of the issue, on this side of the issue. Um, but if I were a collector, I wouldn't invest in these cards.
Yep.
Like they don't seem like a good thing to invest in. Like they don't look like good investments because, like we said, Wizards could just appease the community and reprint Negan and the other guy, and uh, then, like you said, that would be it, right? The
Yeah.
prices would crash and whatever. And they're also not very powerful cards or
Yeah.
excellent cards. The art is kind of crappy.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
the one thing
it's
I can see happening that would be good for collectors is with Negan, because I can see WotC banning him in the not so distant future. For
remember the Space Corona Godzilla?
yes, but I'm talking about the bans outside of the power. With the recent bans, like on certain other cards that I cannot say, uh, that
Yeah.
that
Well, sorry.
the value of them multiplied by 20 or more on some of those cards. So I can see
Uh,
that's something I can see possibly happening on Egan.
I don't know. Again, like I remember when the Space Corona Godzilla or that thing was
Yeah.
oiled, and it was selling for like $200, right?
Yep.
And people actually thought that it would like the price would remain the same because of what we were living, like the global pandemic and whatnot.
Yeah.
And now, come on, it's like $1, right? It's not even
Yeah. No, it's super
like
cheap. It's because I told people who was like, I was like, it's going to be continue to be printed. There's way more than you think that's out there. It's not that limited of a print run.
yeah. I mean, I know, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
That Godzilla card is not the same as these cards, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't see the investment potential in these cards. I personally don't see it, but like I said, I'm not an expert at investing in cards, and I'm not a collector or anything. But
Yeah.
to me, like the art isn't there, the power isn't there. They might get a reprint sooner than people think. So
Yep.
I don't really see that collector quality. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. How does this affect local game stores? Uh,
This is more
First
interesting.
thing first is Wizards of the Coast is going to continue making their own new product that they're going to be selling from themselves. That in order for an LGS to sell it, they'd have to mark it up a ridiculous amount, right? And
Yep.
so this, in my opinion, and from what I've seen from past Secret Lairs, this takes some money away from LGSs, and
Yep.
not just because it's Wizards of the Coast is a bad corporation with grasping suits, even though that's part of it, but it's because people often just don't want to go through buying through an LGS, right? Even if say the product there was only $5 more, that people are gonna buy it, and I do the same thing too. Like I have an LGS down the street that marks things up a ridiculous amount, and I'm gonna stop buying from them because I was like, you know what? Why put myself in debt to support somebody else? If they were doing fair
And it's
prices.
actually
Sorry.
this is a very no, I'm sorry. This is a very complex issue,
Yep.
and you just gave an excellent example as to why.
Thanks.
Like not all local game stores are that abusive. Like
Yeah.
I for one, I think at least the local game stores that I regularly attend to and whatnot, they're pretty cool guys and like the
Yeah.
owners, and they usually they look out like for the little guy or whatever. No? They are always very careful with their pricings.
Yeah.
They have all of these special sales and whatever. But I agree that there are some local game stores that sometimes, like you said, am I really going to put myself in debt to support someone who's charging me $20 extra for a booster box when I can just order it from you there?
Mhm.
So I think this, yeah, it will affect local game stores, right? Because
Yeah.
um, if, we don't have to like the secret lairs, but a lot of people do. That's the
Yeah.
reality of things, right?
Yeah.
And
And I'm
yeah,
not mad at the people who like them whatsoever. I'm
no,
just giving what the
me
real
neither.
impact of it is.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of people want this, and I think local game stores could probably benefit from selling these kind of things themselves.
Yeah.
So if Wizards of the Coast isn't going to make them available at local game stores, it's quite like I don't know how big yet, but I think it's going to be
Exactly.
uh, a blow to local game stores.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, it's complex. It's not that. Well, I don't think that Wizards of the Coast is trying to screw over local game stores. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people think that Wizards of the Coast is, or Hasbro, like they are evil and they're trying to screw everyone. No, man. I mean, they just want money.
Yeah.
It's like any other corporation, you know. I don't think
Exactly.
McDonald's do what they do because they want to kill cows or whatever.
Yeah.
They want money, man. If they could sell dirt hamburgers, you know, hamburgers, they would do it. I mean, they're not in it for screwing cows or like or variables, and it's a more complex issue than just saying, oh well, yeah, this is totally a scheme by Hasbro or whatever to screw local game stores. It is going to affect, but I don't like, you know, that
Yeah.
there's always like a little bit of gray between
Mhm.
black and white.
Yeah, and just a piece of advice: if you're a local game store owner and you're struggling right now, giving yourself higher profit margins does not equal more profit, because if, say, you're paying what, $60 or $70 for a box, and if most places are marking them at around 100 to 110, and you go market at 130, your competition is going to be making more money by pricing
Exactly.
them lower because they're going to be getting more customers. What you want is to sell more and more boxes, so you can get more and more credit to get more and more boxes in the future, right? And another huge thing is social media campaigns is huge. Decent prices in social media, that will make you a successful LGS, right? And
Yeah.
sticking to the current guidelines for what's going on in the world definitely makes people a lot happier too. All right. Number 4. I think we went a little bit into the future effect if more of these unique singles are printed, but I want to go into it more in depth about, once again, tying it to the RL, to the reserve list a little bit. Is it's going to create its own unique list that people are going to name it something or other. It's going to happen if it continues, right? And it's going to create its own unique list that gathers more and more value, unless, of course, Wizards decides to change the name and reprint it, or they do the thing like they did with Godzilla and create something with 2 names in the future instead. There's many, many different ways it can go, and I'm not telling you it's going to go each one of these ways. It's going to go one of them. I'm not telling you which one specifically it is because I can't tell the future. I wish I could.
Yep.
Exactly.
I, earlier today, before we started this episode, I was checking Facebook, or yeah, I think I was checking Facebook, and I saw someone post like, well, I think a lot of people know that Mark Rosewater, who's like the lead designer of most of the sets of Magic the Gathering, I think that's his job. Um, he has a blog. It's called Blogatog, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, man. So he interacts with the community like a ton, like a lot, more than he needs to probably. And so people were very upset, right? And
Yeah.
this was one of the main complaints. I don't know how to say it. That, and they were like going to tomorrow and demanding for an explanation or whatever. And they got even angrier when Mark Rosewater didn't address this thing, but he was like, "Okay, guys, I know, but what about the design?" So people obviously got super upset, and I mean, the guy is probably just doing his job. And what I saw earlier today was that after he saw that the community got even angrier when instead of addressing this issue, he was like, "But what do you think of the design? Doesn't this?"
Your audio cut out. Oh, there we go. We have you back. We have the Sliver Hive back. Okay, cool.
Well, the thing is that Mark Rosewater made another statement earlier today or yesterday. I don't know exactly when, but he said, "Well, we like I'm sorry, and now I get um, where are all of your frustrations coming from, and I'm gonna make sure to pass this on to my bosses or whatever. And like you said, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think that the backlash has been so like so severe
Yeah.
that it's not, well, I don't know. They are obviously going to sell these things like, I mean, it's obviously going to sold out, right?
Yep.
And they're gonna make a killing. But I don't think that's necessarily an indicator that just because they are going to sell these mechanically unique cards, I don't think they're going to immediately like release new mechanically unique cards every month, like with the other secret layers. That there was a
Yeah.
time when it felt like we were getting a secret layer every 2 days or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
No, I agree with
Um,
you. I don't think so. Like one of the things people are saying is like it's going to be a bunch more. I think this is something that's going to be like maybe twice a year. But only time will tell, right?
yeah, but and perhaps let's assume this happens. Um, I made a point on my video from the other day where I addressed this secret layer issue 2 that okay, let's assume that they print mechanically unique cards twice each year or every 2 other days like the other secret layers.
Mm.
Um, people need to be honest with themselves. Okay, one of these cards it becomes a staple in Legacy.
Yeah.
Do you really need to play Legacy to enjoy Magic the Gathering?
Nope.
Like, uh, I know a lot of people that have never played Legacy
Mm.
their whole life, right? And they love Magic the Gathering to death and they enjoy it. They have never played Modern. Maybe they don't even own a standard deck. Like, there are so many ways of enjoying Magic the Gathering that I think sometimes it's just disingenuous to say this is going to ruin the game. Why? I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to make it harder for you to play Legacy. But come on, some of these people don't even own all of the other Legacy stuff. Not everyone owns Places of Force of Will. Not everyone owns a place played in Legacy. So saying that, oh man, this could lead to a lot of cards becoming staples on Legacy or Modern. Okay, let's assume that they do. Do you want to play Magic the Gathering, or do you want to play the most expensive Legacy deck? Because I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
And
I
people
think
need
the
to
main thing
start.
is, the price of the Secret Lair is about $50, right? And for that price, I'm doing a video. It's going to come out tomorrow or the day after. Is going to be a budget Xeris Snake Tribal EDH deck, and that's going to
Yeah.
be about $50 too. Okay, so for the cost of the Secret Lair that many are complaining about or buying, I'm not partial to either way, or impartial to either way. I mean, um, for that price, you can. I mean, of course, watch my deck tech too. Sell it to yourself. I'm not trying to sell it to you, but um, for that $50, you can make a decent deck, and it's going to be janky as hell. Of course, it is. I love building jank, but it's going to be a deck that works too. Jank doesn't mean bad. Jank means something fun and randomly explosive. Um, and I mean, at least from my experience, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true for each person's experience, but that's what I think jank is meant to be. And I mean, that's getting a bit away from this topic here, of The Walking Dead, but that's just something I want to say is for the price of this, you can put those $50. If you're complaining about this and buying it, I don't know what's wrong with you, um, but buy a budget deck. Watch somebody's deck tech, and the more I have in the future too, I will, trust me. Get a budget deck and play with it. It's fun. You
Yeah.
don't
I
you
mean,
don't need to be rich to win Magic games.
no.
And
I mean,
trust me, I'm not rich.
no. I'm not rich either, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like, if cards existing as legacy staples that you can have uh, stop you from enjoying Magic the Gathering, that's kind of weird, right? Like,
Exactly. So like, oh, if I can't have Chromox, I can't play this deck. Find something else to put in there in place of Chromox.
no, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like, what do you want? Do you want to play Magic the Gathering? You can do it for free, for very cheap, for like you can have budget decks that are really competitive. So
Yeah.
you have to be honest with yourselves.
Mhm.
Do you want to play Magic the Gathering, or do you want to play Foil John, like modern Foil John, or do you want to play Four Colors Snowco in Legacy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Okay,
sometimes
let's move on.
yeah, let's move on.
Okay, and so now pretty much all these four things that we already went over was basically the pros and cons of buying The Walking Dead Secret Lair, but I'm going to give it from my perspective, and I want Emmanuel to give it from his perspective too, why you should or shouldn't buy it. I'm saying don't buy it. I'm saying personally it's going to be a waste of your $50 or whatever it is, right? And if you like The Walking Dead, buy it. If The Walking Dead is something you love and you also love Magic and you have the money to do it, then do it. But if you're somebody that has to budget every month in order to play Magic because you want to buy those cards, then there's no point in buying it because it's something that you're going to be able to buy these singles from the Secret Lair in the future for a lot cheaper than what you can get them for right now. Just my advice.
Yeah. You know, I have never really liked telling people what to do or what not to do. In fact, one of the things that that I'm always very careful about on my channel is, like, for example, I don't use the term budget because I think that's very subjective. For some people,
right.
budget is $2 cards, and for other people, budget is $20 cards, and for other people, budget is $200 cards.
Yeah.
So I never use the word budget. I'm never going to make a video telling people what they should or should not like, or what they should or should not buy. My personal opinion of this, I mean, I'm not gonna buy them.
Yeah.
I don't like the art. The cards are kind of underwhelming. I don't see them as being powerful in like any format, really. Like I really don't. Like I have played a lot of modern, a lot of, well, not as much as modern, but a fair amount of legacy, especially on Magic Online.
Yeah.
I have played a ton of standard. I have played a lot of commander. I love playing casual commander, regular commander. CEDH is one of my favorite ways of playing commander. And these cards, like, I wouldn't play them in any of those formats. I wouldn't play them in Pioneer. I mean, come on. So I wouldn't buy it. But it's totally okay if someone wants to buy it. And,
exactly.
And people shouldn't be toxic that really liked commander. I'm not going to give him crap. I'm not going to make. Is it okay now?
Can you repeat like the last 30 seconds? Sorry, viewers.
Yeah. Okay. What remember that I said? Well, the point was. Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, no, you're good. Go ahead.
If someone arrives at my local game store and they have their Negan or Rick or Michonne commander deck or whatever, I'm not going to give them a hard time. I'm not going to be toxic. I'm not going to push them out of the commander table or that's not, like, I don't see why there are some people that are actually advocating for this kind of behavior, and it's like, it's very, I don't know, it's weird. These are the people that call the community toxic, and now they're doing the same thing but even worse. I don't know. So I wouldn't do that. If you sit down and play your commander, I hope we're going to have a laugh and have a good time, and that's it. I mean, if you want to buy these Secret Lairs, go ahead. It's your choice. It's great, and no one should give you any crap for it.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I'm not going to give anybody crap about it. I mean, I might make some jokes on my groups and stuff like that, but it's not going to be, directed at anybody specifically. except for Captain fans. But different
Oh man.
I'm gonna get hated on for that comment. It's okay. But I mean, I could see myself using Rick in the future just because it's a fun white card. But there's no way I'm gonna buy any of this crap now. No way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think some of these cards I wouldn't use them because I don't consider them powerful or really that playable. But I can see other people like finding them fun or I don't know. And
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, for example, Rick, which in my opinion is the best card. It looks like fun. I mean, I wouldn't play it, but if someone finds it fun and someone wants to play it, I think we're going to have a good time, and I think that's what matters, right? We
Exactly.
play Commander, we play Magic the Gathering.
Hey
Like
man, well
it's weird.
you glitched out for the last 30 seconds again. It's always 30 seconds.
Well, I was saying that if someone owning these Secret Lair cards or whatever stops you from enjoying the game, that's kind of weird. I mean, you should get therapy instead of more cards, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to end it here. Emmanuel, I had a fantastic time talking to you about this. Definitely better than me doing it by myself because I'm a lonely boy, and I know you are too. So,
We're alone. Now we're together.
yeah, we're together.
Forever and ever.
However many hundreds of miles apart we are. But that's going to do it for today. I really appreciate you guys watching this. In a link below, I'm going to, have the Sliver Hive linked down below, our very own Patreon for the Cryptic Commander. We're trying to get that figured out. Well, I mean, we did get it figured out. I mean, we have the crypticommander.com too. If you want to check out merch, we're finishing up with all the deck boxes. We're a little bit of a sneak peek. We're working on something with exotic MTG for our deck boxes. So, a
Nice.
little bit of a secret there. So keep quiet. But, without further ado, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. See y'all later.
Thank you, Captain
Bye.
Matt. Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Bye.